What's going on, you guys? My name is Seapeekay, and today I'm super excited to bring you exclusive gameplay of Kingdom Hearts 3 a week before the release on Xbox One and PlayStation 4 on January the 29th. This video is sponsored by Square Enix. If you want to pre-order your copy of the game, go ahead and click the link in the description. Without further ado, let's get into some Kingdom Hearts 3 gameplay. So guys, I did not get to play the full game of Kingdom Hearts 3. I got to play two specific parts of Kingdom Hearts 3, which you will see both parts in this video. We're starting off in Andy's room in the toy box level. One of the first things that I really like about this is that there's a little camera so that you can take pictures of things. There are these things in the game called lucky emblems, which I'll go into in a little bit more detail later on. As you can see here, we found a chest. What's in the chest? Well, he gave it a little tap and found a mithril gem, something that's going to help us in the game. Now, I already knew where this first one was, so I dropped down here and show you guys the first lucky emblem. This is the first one, as far as I'm aware, that I could find, and it gave me an AP boost. So what I found out is that the more of these emblems that we're taking pictures of seem to get more and more rewards, and they seem to increase in rarity as we went on. So the more emblems we've got, the better stuff we got as rewards. Another fun little feature of Kingdom Hearts 3 is interaction with items such as this ball. It had a little sparkle above it, so I could just hop on and start running around Andy's room on top of a ball. Just a fun little interaction that I enjoyed. And then we hopped under the bed to find a chest that had an item called fluorite inside. Some of these things that I'm showing you right now, you might think are silly. I left this in just because of the way that the bed interacts with you as you walk on it. It kind of presses in under your feet. I absolutely love that stuff. So a lot of the things I'm showing you here are just fun little bits that I liked and little Easter eggs, I guess, almost. When we jump up here, I noticed that Andy has a Mickey Mouse watch on his wall. So that was a nice little bit of information. And of course, no Kingdom Hearts game would be complete without being able to interact with some of our favorite characters. In Kingdom Hearts 3, we actually have a whole expanse of new characters coming from the Disney Animation Studios. So a whole bunch of awesome new people to talk to as we progress through the game. I'm trying to mix up what I'm showing you to make sure I showcased a lot of things that are available in Kingdom Hearts 3. And let's go back to those emblems I was talking about. So this showcases one of the more difficult ones to find. It's literally in the grass on the pavement. So there's a real difference in how difficult some of them are to find compared to the others. Here is another one engraved in the wood of the roof. It's crazy how much some of these are hidden. Moving forward with the level a little bit, we find ourselves inside of a Gigas, a huge toy robot, and we got to defeat all the other Gigases in Galaxy Toy Store. Now, each one of these Gigas has different abilities. Right now, I'm in a blue one, which means I can punch and use my exploders. What we're going to do now is quickly try and take down the red one so we can jump out of the blue one and straight into the red Giga. Here we go, jumping in. We now have different abilities. This time we have the regular blasters again, but we also have the ability to tackle, which is this charged slam attack. And as you can see, the third and final type of Giga that we're going to see in this area is the purple Giga, which we're going to take out right now so we can hop inside of him and take over to see what powers he has. And once we're in, we can see that he has two giant cannons that he shoots to the left and right of his shoulders. Extremely powerful and definitely the strongest of the Gigas in the area. So we find ourselves at the bottom of 3 rails. Now, which one do we choose? I was intrigued by this one that said Vic the Visitor. So I jumped onto the rail and we get to see Sora do an incredibly elegant upwards glide, of course followed by all of his friends. Once we get to the top of the rail, we're met with a chest, and in that chest is the first of many collectibles here. It's actually a mini game, so I'm going to show you a little bit about what the mini game is about and explain a little bit more about the mini games that are featured. So as you can see through the menu, we've come to a section called Classic Kingdom, which has 2 pages of these mini games to find as you go. The first one I found here is called Mickey Cuts Up, and you are met with an adorable black and white rendition of Sora. And in this game, the aim of it is to mow the lawn like a pro. So you start in one area and you have to go over each bit of long grass and cut the whole garden without going over the same bit of grass twice. So it's kind of like a puzzle game. Each of these mini games is different, and you can find them in various chests throughout the many extensive areas of the game. This is the first one. You will get to see another game later in the video, but as you can see, fun little mini games and a great little collectible to have in Kingdom Hearts 3 as well. I know personally for me as a collector, I'm going to be making sure that I can try and get every single one of these mini games that's hidden throughout it and set a high score on it as well. So a couple more fun little Easter eggs for you guys that I found whilst playing through the game. You'll see these little balloon carts around. Now, if you pop the little helium vent here and listen carefully, you'll hit the characters' voices actually change in pitch due to the helium, which I think is a very funny little addition. We also found this fun little Rock'em Sock'em robot style game where you get to jump on an boxing match with these two giant dinosaurs. It seems you're playing against Buzz, I think. Not that really matters. And if you win, which I did, you're rewarded with a chest, which of course has a tasty reward in. And a fun little cameo here from Dissidia, another one of Square Enix's games. I really like that they had their games hidden within their other games. This is us finding our second minigame that I promised, and this time we have found Taxi Troubles. Again, similar style to the game, they're all classic style looking games. This time it finds Sora being a taxi driver for the troubled people of the kingdom. We got to find out where they are, pick them up, and then drop them off at their location without, of course, running out of fuel. We would not want that. So one of the final things I wanted to show you in this area of the game is the fun little special attacks. This time we get to ride around on a rocket, and when we press the triangle button to finish it, it shoots off and damages one of our enemies. And now onto my personal favorite special move. It's when we're using the Tangled Keyblade and we use the Mirage Staff. We finish it off and it puts us on a giant ethereal tower and rains down light, damaging everyone around us in a circle. Welcome to the second part of this video. We're getting to experience Pirates of the Caribbean in Kingdom Hearts 3. You join us on the Leviathan Ship, and we are instantly met with some very scary looking hostile ships who just literally appear out of the water and start firing cannonballs at you. Of course, we fire straight on back. It's got a super intuitive cannon system, and you've got to destroy those little green orbs on the front of the ship to destroy the ships that are trying to fight. Now, this area I'm going to be showing you is more about the openness and how open this world is for you to explore. Here's a really cool feature, how you jump up to the crow's nest of the ship. And there's so much to explore on the ship, but also the whole of this ocean area is explorable underwater with this very elegant dive that you just saw from me there. We can spin our Keyblade around as like a propeller to get around underwater. It's actually a really fast method of getting around, and I was so intrigued by these jellyfish, I wanted to see what happened if I went up and prodded one, and yes, you do take damage, and sadly they disintegrate as well, so it made me feel really bad. So, of course, with underwater exploration comes underwater goodies. Now, I smashed open this box and received some crabs. Had no idea what that meant. Turns out that the crabs are actually what you collect to level up your ship. And of course, had to get a selfie with a jellyfish down here for good measure while I was at it. So upon reaching the island, I was met with our first truly fearsome enemy, this crazy giant sandworm who just sort of appears out of the ground. He has like 5 bars of health. I'd almost call him like a mini boss, but he's very, very difficult to beat. And I found out that whilst fighting this guy, you get an opportunity to use a special goofy finisher that is specific to this enemy. I throw him down his neck there, and it literally finishes him off. Incredibly cool, and sets the precedence that there may be secret attacks for certain enemies. Here I'm just showcasing the Frozen Keyblade. In this area we actually had different Keyblades to play with. I was playing with the Frozen one, and of course I just wanted to see what the attractions were like. Here we are in the the Blasty Blaze, so you know, we're hitting some of those ones, and I wanted to get out so that I could experience the Frozen Blizzard Claws, which are not to be taken lightly. Incredibly cool and incredibly powerful special weapon. So this next area has jumped on a little bit. I know I still have the Blizzard Claws, but that's just to show you what you can set up with the Blizzard Claws. So as you can see above the Blizzard Claws there's 2 little arrows. That means I'm charging up my next move. And once I've got that to 3 and I get rid of another one of these Heartless guys, I get the Blizzard Blades. Now, I've now got crazy frozen arms and crazy frozen feet, doing extra damage as I glide around. I also completely lost control here and glided way out with it and had to try and make my way back. Luckily, my power of maneuverability, I made it safely. And of course, like with all of them, you press triangle to do a finisher move. This one, very, very impressive. You chop down a frozen chandelier on your enemies. I completely missed, but I didn't care. It just looked awesome. So this is just to showcase the quickest way of you getting back to your ship. I had a little dive underwater and of course propelled myself around. But once you get to a certain distance and you can see that square, you can do an airwalk right back. Moving on to the next island here, I had about 4 islands that I was allowed to explore. This one definitely having the most of the combat-based things going on here. And of course, I see all these little barrels being carried away by crabs, and I want to level up my ship. So you know I'm about to get as many of these barrels as I can to level up. But I found another chest, and you guys are going to hate me for this. I got so sidetracked. I find a mini game here called Beach Party, and then you get met with a bunch of enemies. So I totally forgot to play the mini game because I was so blown away by the sheer size of this battle. There's like 25 enemies there, and I'm on my own. So I'm thinking, can I even do this? And I completely forgot about the mini game. I'm as sad about it as you are, I promise. But then I wanted to show you again the Blizzard Blades doing some serious damage, and we got to experience a brand new attraction. It's the Magic Carousel. Now this one actually adds a quick time event to the game as well. So whilst you're moving around damaging enemies, if I press the X button at the same time as those light rings hit the outer ring of the carousel, I do a whole bunch of extra damage. So you see I struggle at first, but then once I get the hang of it, I start getting a pretty nice chain, and it deals a ton of damage. And in the top left corner there, records your highest score, so you can compare as you progress through the game. So this was just to showcase how fast you can move around underwater. It looks super smooth as well, which is incredible. And of course, who does not love a little sing-along? Lovely little throwback to the attraction at Disney there. So if you listen carefully here, you'll hear him shout full speed. That actually does the surge ability where I get a burst of speed. I actually got that for leveling up the ship to level 3. Now here's something I didn't touch on very much in the first part of the video there. Goofy says I bet we'll find some ingredients here. Whilst you're playing through the game, you can find these ingredients on the ground or in chests, and you can actually cook various cuisines. Now I didn't get to find out much about cuisines. All I know is it's in it, and you have to collect the items to make the food up. Now that's all I know at this point. This part was left here just so I could showcase the cool underwater fighting as well. You can breathe underwater infinitely, which is very cool because I was always nervous about breathing while I'm in underwater levels. So it's nice to know that there's no real stress here, and the combat's still really, really fluid despite being underwater, and there's still a lot of cool things that you can do there. So moving on to the biggest fight, I think, of the whole thing. You see 3 big enemies, a bunch of little annoying magic guys, and one of the giant sandworms again. So, you know, we're kind of in over our head. There's a lot going on. And I really just put this clip in so that you could see how fluid the game remains when there's a whole bunch of entities on the screen, and how we deal with it whilst using the Pirates of the Caribbean keyblade. So right now, as you can see, we've got our special going on with it, which gives me a bunch of extra damage. And I'm just trying to work through so I can see what kind of finishes I can get, because they're the most exciting part of the game for me. And let me tell you, any second now, you really get to see one of the most impressive finishers in the game. I'm calling them finishers, special moves. You know what I mean. When you press the triangle button to finish, you're about to see it right now. I call upon what I believe is a Leviathan here, and the tentacles just fly out of the ground, start slamming around crazy, and deal a bunch of damage. So here's one of the first of 2 emblems that I found in this area. I'm not sure how many there were, but I found this one hidden on a rock, which was quite easy to find, whereas the next one, which you'll see, is not so easy. Further into this cave, I found an amazing little treasure trove. You just saw me there. I picked up some mussel, which is what's going to be used for the cuisine later in the game. And I found this awesome little treasure trove just full of random items. And of course, as you saw there, look at all those crabs that I just swim past too. I didn't even pick them up. I was just so excited to be getting hands-on with this game that I just felt like I missed so much stuff that I could have got or could have played. But I was just so excited to be playing it that I forgot so much stuff. I'm sorry, all right? So here is the more difficult one. There's the giant Mickey there. It's literally a cave, showing how different all these Mickey emblems can be as you progress through the game. Obviously, we found them etched into wood, you know, etched into stone. We found them as leaves on the ground, and now a cave in the shape of Mickey's head. It's amazing. I can't wait to get more hands-on with the game. Obviously, the game is out on the 29th of January on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Guys, that is actually all of the footage that I have to show you. I'm going to let you experience this last little minute as I play through, just as we try and get back out of the cave. I knew that it was coming to an end, so I was really trying to savor every last moment. As you can see, I'm only 14 crabs away from leveling up, so I was like trying to get that last little level. But guys, as I said, this video has been sponsored by Square Enix, so thank you very much to them for letting me play the game early, ahead of the release on January 29th on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. If you do want to get your hands on a copy of the game, go ahead and click the link in the description to go to a pre-order site where you can make sure that you're getting the game on release. You do not want to miss this one, guys. It's such a fantastic game. Hopefully you have all enjoyed this one. If you have, make sure to leave a like, share this video to some of your Kingdom Hearts loving friends, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.